Hey guys, it's Bree. Welcome back to #BSB. Now before I jump into this video, give it a thumbs up because you know you're gonna like it. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram @SincerelyRare. Alright, it's the end of July. I haven't dropped a video for y'all since the end of January. Let's do the math real quick. That's been 7 months since I dropped some new content for y'all. Apologies, but at the same time, I'm not really sorry because life has been happening, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Consider this my life update over the past 7 months, and because we're going to be recapping from January to July, I'm going to break this life update into 3 separate videos. So that means over the course of the next 3 weeks, my goal is to drop a video every week for y'all. This is my life update. So let's jump right in. Okay, so as I said, this life update video is going to be broken into 3 different parts. In this video right here, we're going to talk about my new job. For those of you who have been following me over the past couple years, you know that the last job that I had was in advertising at a pharmaceutical advertising agency called Area 23, where I was an integrated producer, aka project manager. Let's be real, the only reason why they call their project managers producers is so that they can pay us less, but it's okay though. So yeah, let's see, backtrack maybe a couple of videos ago when I talked about how I was in a bind, really trying to figure out if I was going to apply to business school last year or if I was going to wait until this year. Update on that, I will be applying this year, but just to go back to the whole job thing. What was going on in my workspace was my former manager, she left in August, leaving me to tend to all of my brand's projects. I was on one of the busiest brands at my agency. So at any given time, there's like 50-60 projects moving at once, and it gets really insane. Like, my anxiety shot through the roof. I wasn't sleeping, I was barely eating, like homegirl was busy. I didn't have time to even care for myself. It was really, really bad. I let the powers that be know the situation, like, hey, I'm burnt out and like you still expect me to keep going. This is insane. And even when they hired a new senior project manager who was supposed to become my manager, she wasn't even like up to par. So of course that still leaves me as the lead PM on the brand, and I was just like, no, this is not okay. I was like, all right. The whole time I had been wanting to leave anyway because I was just really sick of the whole no work-life balance. I wasn't used to staying at work until 6:30, 7 o'clock. That wasn't normal for me. I would leave at 5. In the agency world, it's like literally you just never know. Every day is unpredictable. And that is what I was dealing with on my own. And then I was just like, I just hit a wall. I was like, all right, it's 2019. I'm already like depressed that I'm not applying to business school, so what's next? I was like, all right, it's time to get out. So what I did was I hit up LinkedIn, I hit up Indeed, I hit up Idealist. For those who don't know, Idealist is a job board that's dedicated to social impact work, like nonprofit work. I literally hit up every job board. I was like, I can't do this. So I just put my resume out there. I probably applied to like 250 jobs. Who knows, honestly. But then my new company, the company that I'm at now, 2U Inc. It's an ed tech company out in Dumbo. When I applied to them via Indeed, everything just went so smoothly. Like, I submitted my application. The next day the recruiter hit me up. Then we scheduled a phone call within the next couple of days. Then after that, a week later, I had a phone interview with my current manager. And when I say I nailed that phone interview with my manager, that phone interview was only supposed to be 30 minutes. Me and Lauren were literally chatting for like 45 minutes to an hour. Meanwhile, the call was at 9 o'clock. I was supposed to sign off at 9:30 so I could get to work by 10:15. No, I got off the call at like 9:50 and still had to go to work. But like I said, I nailed that interview with my current manager. Like, we really just hit it off. I was just vibing off him And then like he would just like piggyback on things that I was saying. I would piggyback on things that he was saying. It was just a perfect interview. I've never had a phone interview with a hiring manager go that well. So I was like, okay, cool. I can get jiggy with this. Then the following week I was invited in for an in-person interview where I met with 3 people. One was my manager, one was his manager, and then one was just someone who kind of worked closely to the project management team. And again, yes, I was like very nervous for my interviews, but nailed it. And when I got to meet the hiring manager in person, it was like we'd known each other for a very long time. And I also got a tour of the office, and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to work here. There's swings in the office, there's unlimited snacks and drinks. There's a roof, there's a game room. Like the office I was just in awe. I was like, oh, is this what tech life is like? I should have been in tech a long ass time ago. So yeah, I was sold by the office. I was sold by the job itself. Honestly, after being in advertising, I feel like I can conquer anything. Like you can't hand me a project management job harder than what I just overcame. But yeah, that was my mood the entire time. I'm like, yo, I got this. Oh, another thing that sold me is like the benefits. I used to have unlimited PTO at my agency. That shit carried over to my new job. So I can literally just take off as much, whenever I need to, as much time as I need to. So yeah, benefits sold me, office sold me. Ultimately, the compensation sold me. A week later, I was given a verbal offer from the recruiter that contacted me from the beginning of the process. And he said they were finalizing my written offer, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what the dollar amount's gonna be, because this was my first time actually trying to negotiate. Well, not exactly. I wasn't really playing the negotiation game, because ultimately I ended up just like taking what they gave me. But I did try the whole thing where it's like, don't be the first one to give a number. So in the first call that I had with the recruiter, he was like, what are your salary expectations? Meanwhile, this is just a 30-minute, not even, probably like a 15-minute informational call. I'm just like, I don't know enough about the position. I don't know enough about the culture, the company, anything to really confidently say I want this much or whatever. So I was like, I want to learn more about the role and the company and how I fit within it before I decide what my salary expectations are. Boom, dodged it the first time. He never brought it up again. So I was like, okay. Before I go into this in-person interview, I need to know what the salary range is, because I'm not gonna be wasting my time on a 3-hour interview if I don't know what the money is gonna be like. I hit up the recruiter. I was like, hey, just wondering if you could share, like, I'm really excited to like come in on Friday. Like I was hoping that you could share like the salary range for the position, blah, blah, blah. And then he hits me back like, oh, there's a wide range. What are you targeting? I'm like, are you serious? Just tell me the number. So of course I had to say a number. And then when I say the number, he's like, oh, that's well within our range. And I'm like, wow, I should have like added like maybe like 5-10K on there. My mentor confirmed that too. But yeah, you know, he ended up giving me the range at my in-person interview, and I was like, as long as you can bump that up toward like the higher end, like I'd really appreciate it. Ultimately, I ended up between the midpoint and the high point, so I'm not gonna complain, because the percent increase that I got on my salary, man, more than I had even asked for. Like I said, I ended up taking the offer. Didn't have much time in between start dates and like my last day, Area 23, because 2U starts on a bi-weekly schedule. So I started March 18th and I left Area 23 March 13th. So I literally had 2 days, well really 4 days to myself before transitioning into this new job, which was totally fine, because the first like month I was chilling anyway. So let's see, it's like the first couple months of the job, like I said, nothing but training. When my team finally gets put together, everything is cool, we mesh so well, even better than my last team. Everyone's excited to be on the team. Everyone's excited for the work that they're doing at 2U. Half of my team was veterans, half of us were newbies. So it was just a good balance. Like literally, I couldn't ask for a better team. Oh, backtrack to the in-person interview. The final thing that sold me was that every year 2 youths get to go on a company meeting that's sponsored by the company, meeting all expenses paid. And that this particular year, 2019, the company meeting was in Vegas. I have never been to Vegas before. The fact that I was going there for the first time for free, like, come on, that's a win-win. Like, come on, I don't have to pay for my flight. I don't have to pay for like my hotel. I don't have to pay for food. Vegas, yes, it's cheap to get out there, but it's expensive for like accommodations and food. So I was like, this is great. So yeah, eventually, you know, the company meeting came around. We got a lot of swag there. Common was there. We got surprised with Diana Ross. The CEO of LinkedIn was there. The CEO of Girls Who Code was there, and a few other presenters were there. But those were the 4 people that were most interesting to me, obviously. And then just to really wrap up this job update that I forgot to mention while I was doing my whole search, one thing that was very important for me was that this next position really lined up with what I potentially want to do post MBA. I was torn because I was like, okay, if I move on to another position, it either has to be a promotion, meaning I stay in advertising, I become a senior PM, or I make a lateral move into an industry that I'm interested in pursuing post MBA. Realistically, I didn't want to do the advertising thing anymore, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to search in nonprofits, search in tech, search in education for a project manager role. And that's essentially how I stumbled upon 2U. And then another thing, of course, work-life balance was important, location was important, the perks were important, because the areas maybe I didn't get those things. And I also had a toxic team. So the fact that I am paired with 8 other people who are accountable, who want to be there, who give a damn about what they're doing, it makes a huge difference. And just to add on top of that, because you know I just keep adding stuff, my manager is amazing. I've never had such a supportive manager. I haven't had like really bad managers, but just the fact that my manager, he's mad chill, mad supportive. The way he runs our team is completely flexible. I can work from home whenever the hell I feel like it. All I have to do is just like, hey Lauren, I'm working from home. Or hey Lauren, I have this issue on my team, like can we talk about it? Oh hey Lauren, I have this idea, can I use you as a soundboard? One thing I appreciate about what happens at 2U is that every quarter we have to do a performance review. Like I have to do a performance review on myself and then highlight any like SMART goals that I want to accomplish over like the next quarter or so. And then my manager will come behind and he'll also do a review based on my review and of course our one-on-ones. And then he'll also have goals that he has in mind, which typically align with what I want to accomplish. One thing he told me last week was that when I have a one-on-one or when I have these performance reviews, he typically approaches it as, this is my time to tell my manager what I want. And while that's a little scary because I don't always know what I want, I appreciate the space and the opportunity to be able to say, this is what I want to do, as opposed to having somebody like force feed it like, oh, this is what you're gonna do. No. Again, this is why I am in love with my company and the culture of my company, is because they let us craft our own trajectory. Of course, it has to be like within the scope of our work, but like to be able to tell my manager, okay, this is what I want to do, and he actually provide the resources, the sign off or whatever for me to actually do it, being 100% supportive throughout the way, that's amazing. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to work within 2U as a project manager. I will add one more thing. I'm sorry, I keep adding things. I am the youngest on the team, and I'm probably the most vibrant, to be honest. Like, I know there are some project managers that are funny, but like none of them have my personality. So I say I'm the best PM in that way. Culture is important for me. Being myself is important for me. Being able to roll out of bed and be like, all right, this is the Briana I'm going to be today, and be fully embraced at my job is amazing. I couldn't do that anywhere else. Everyone was always trying to change me or trying to like suggest that I do something their way that wasn't the most efficient or just didn't fit my personality in general. At 2U, I don't gotta fake who I am. I wear my lock, I wear my head wraps, I dress how I want. I bring my whole self to work. And that's all I gotta say about that. So yeah, this is part 1 of my life update. Tune in next week for part 2. I'm not gonna release the topic just yet, but again, just be on the lookout. Give this video a thumbs up because you know you liked it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And when you do, make sure you tap the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. Till next time, bye guys.